कृष्ण पृष्ठ तले श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती नामिने नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षाद् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बर सांबोधे पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपनुगवराय ते गौरविर्भाव भूमे स्वां निर्दिष्ट सज्जन प्रियः वैष्णव सार्वभौमा श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So we are starting, as in the last class we started with the kirtans of Sharanagati. So with that sequence we will go and do the next kirtan of Sharanagati, which comes under the section of humility. So this kirtan is Amara Jivan, which is again written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So this is on page number 202 of our English Gaudiya Giti Guch. So we will start. So for this, I'll be singing in the morning tune. So please note how this type of kirtans are sung in the morning style. আমার জীবন সদা পাপের নাহি কো পুণ্যের লেশ পরে রৌদ দে দিয়াছি দেখাত দিয়াছি দিবে রে ক্লেশ নিজ সুখ লাগি পাপে নাহি ডরি দয়াহীন স্বার্থ পর নিজ সুখ লাগি পাপে নাহি ডরি দয়াহীন স্বার্থ পর पर सुखे दुखे सदा मिथ्याभाषी पर सुखे दुखे सदा मिथ्याभाषी पर दुख सुख कर पर दुख सुख कर अशेष कामना हृदय माने मोरा क्रोधी दंभ परायण अशेष कामना हृदय माने मोरा क्रोधी दंभ परायण मद मत सदा विषय मोहित मद मत सदा विषय मोहित हिंसा गर्व विभूषण हिंसा गर्व विभूषण निद्रालस्य हत सुकार्य विरत अकार्य उद्योगी यामे निद्रालस्य हत सुकार्य विरत अकार्य उद्योगी यामे प्रतिष्ठा लागिया सत्याचरण प्रतिष्ठा लागिया सत्याचरण लोभहत सदा कामी लोभहत सदा कामी एहेनु दुर्जन सजन वर्जित अपराधी निरंतर एहेनु दुर्जन सजन वर्जित अपराधी निरंतर शुभ कार्य शून्य सदानर्थ मना शुभ कार्य शून्य सदानर्थ मना नाना दुखे दरद नाना दुखे दरद वार्धक्य कोना उपाय विहीन ताते बिना अकिंचनो वार्धक्य कोनो पाए विहीन ताते बिना किंचनो भक्ति विनोद प्रभुराचरणी भक्ति विनोद प्रभुराचरणी करे दुख निवेदन करे दुख निवेदन আমার জীবন সদা পাপেরত নাহি কো পুণ্যের লেশ আমার জীবন সদা পাপেরত নাহি কো পুণ্যের লেশ হরে কৃষ্ণ Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Radhe Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Thakur Bhakti Vinod Thakur Bhakti Vinod Bhakti Vinod Thakur Bhakti Vinod Jai Jai Gurudev 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 Jai Jai Gurudev Nitai Gaura Hare Bol Hare Bol Hare Bol Gaura Hare Bol Nitai Gaura Hare Bol Hare Bol Hare Bol Gaura Hare Bol श्रीनिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरे हरि बोल ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् संसारदुःखजलदौ पतितस्य कामा क्रोधादिनक्रमकरैकबलीकृतस्य दुर्वासनानि गणितस्य निराश्रयस्य चैतन्यचन्द्रमम देहि पदावलम् श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, all the devotees. Thank you so much for joining this class on Jaiva Dharma. So we have been discussing various beautiful examples that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has been given about the different species apart from humans who have followed this Jaiva Dharma, who have accepted this Jaiva Dharma. So in that sequence, we were discussing various examples. We heard the example of Nalakuvera Manigriva. We heard the example of Nrig, King Nrig, who became a chameleon. Then we heard example of another Gajendra, and before that we heard of Shri Bharat Maharaj Ji also. So in the last class, we were continuing to hear about Gajendra, this great elephant Gajendra, and we were discussing that how the life of Gajendra was. Although he was in the elephant body, but he was still able to accept that Jaiva Dharma, that is, considering oneself, finding oneself, identifying oneself as the eternal servant of the Lord. And in that body of an elephant, when he was bitten by a crocodile in the pond, at that time when he was about to die, he could remember the prayers, the shlokas, the prayers that he learnt in his previous birth, in his previous life, and recalling those shlokas, when he spoke those prayers, then at once Lord Hari came and protected his devotee Gajendra. So we were discussing that how this Gajendra and the crocodile, how what was the previous birth of Gajendra that he could still remember, what kind of devotion he performed that he could still remember the prayers even in the next body as an elephant. And not just this, what actually happened to such a high class devotee that he had to become an elephant? If he was such a great devotee, then why would he have to become an elephant in the next life? It's a big question. We all are performing devotion. We all are performing devotion with a kind of a security that, oh, I am performing Krishna bhajan, so Krishna will take care of me. Krishna will provide me better destiny. I am suffering so much into this material world with all my uh, material diseases, so many different issues I am having in my life, my relationship problems, my family problems, my bodily problems, my mental problems. This whole material realm is full of suffering. And I am performing devotion thinking that I'll get out of this suffering. I have got this human body. I'll use this opportunity, perform devotion, do bhakti, and get out of this material world which is full of suffering. So, how come Gajendra, in his previous life, he performed so much devotion and then he ultimately had to become an elephant? That's such a heartbreak. So, let's try to understand the previous life of Gajendra. Not just Gajendra, but also of that crocodile. In the last class, we heard very beautifully that how that crocodile, when he was about to get killed by Lord Hari, he at once asked this question that why are you killing me? Oh Lord Hari, why are you killing me? You yourself have told that you get pleased much more to those who take shelter, those who hold the lotus feet of your devotees, than those who hold your lotus feet. Lord Hari himself has said that those who take shelter of my lotus feet, those who hold my lotus feet, in compare to those people, I really get more pleased from them who hold the lotus feet of my devotees. And that's what a great devotee king, King Kulshekhar in South India, he wrote a whole Mukund Mala Stotra. It's a very beautiful stotra. Our Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ji, he used to again and again quote so many shlokas from this Mukund Mala Stotra. And there is this one beautiful shloka which says, Majjanmana idam madhukaitavare mad prarthaniya madanugraha esha eva tad bhritya bhritya paricharak bhritya bhritya bhrityasya bhritya iti mam smara lokanatha. Here, the devotee is praying to the Lord that, O Lord, Majjanmana idam pal kaitabare, madhuta kaitabare. He is saying to the Lord that if you want to give me any kind of boon, oh Lord, if you are pleased with any of my activity and you want to, uh, in that pleasing situation, if you want to give me something, then I just want one thing. What is that? That you see me as the servant of 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 you. How many times? तद भृत्य भृत्य परिचारक भृत्य भृत्य भृतस्य भृत्य इतिमाम स्मरलोकनाथ. That means 7 times this word bhritya has come. Bhritya means sevak. Bhritya means servant. So this is what he is praying. He is praying that I don't want to become your servant. I want to become the servant of the servant of the servant, like this 7 times, and then servant of yourself. So such kind of prayer he is doing, and Lord is getting more and more pleased. Lord Hari, he is getting much more pleased with this. So this crocodile is giving this logic that I am also holding the feet of your devotee, that is Gajendra. So why are you killing? So Krishna, Lord Hari, he is explaining there that holding the lotus feet means taking shelter. Taking shelter, what does that mean? Taking shelter means following the words of devotees, following the teachings of devotees in one's own life, not just physically holding like you are holding with your mouth. You are giving so much pain to my devotee. So, in this way, Gajendra was released by whom? Lord Hari. Now, this crocodile also, he had a beautiful history. This crocodile is also not an ordinary crocodile. Otherwise, how he would be able to actually fight so heavily with this great Gajendra? So, in Srimad Bhagavatam, it has been stated that how this crocodile was actually a Gandharva. Who are Gandharvas? Gandharvas are celestial beings. They are personalities from higher planet. There is Gandharva Lok, like there is Swarga Lok, like heaven. So Gandharva Lok is one of the heavenly planets. And these personalities, these Gandharvas, they are very beautiful, and also they sing very melodiously. They play many beautiful instruments. So these Gandharvas, one of them is this Gandharva whose name is Huhu. So this Gandharva Huhu, he was actually relishing with many female Gandharvis in a pond. So he was enjoying with all these women in the pond. Now there was this Rishi, a saint whose name was Deval Muni. So this Deval Muni, when he came, he entered into the pond to do his worshipping. When he entered into the pond, so this Gandharva Huhu, he tried to show off, and he went inside the water and started pulling the legs, started pulling the feet of this Deval Muni. Again and again, first Deval Muni is ignoring whoever it is, if any animal or whatever it is, he is just ignoring. He is just focused in his worship. But again and again, this Gandharva, he is playing, he is teasing, he is disturbing Deval Muni by holding the feet and pulling inside the water. Now, Deval Muni, he at once got very angry, and he just cursed this Gandharva at once, that in such a hidden way, you are coming inside the water, under the water, you are holding my feet and pulling, you just go and become a crocodile. And this is how crocodile attacks. We all must have seen in Discovery Channel, in different national geographical channels also, that how the crocodile, when he attacks all these horses, all the zebras or the deer who come to drink water in the pond. He's in a very hidden way sitting inside the pond and suddenly attacks and pulls that animal into the pond. So because Gandharva was doing like this, so he got cursed by Deval Muni to become a crocodile only. And then after hearing this curse, he became so much afraid, and he at once started praying at the lotus feet of this Deval Muni. And when he felt this kind of repentance, then Deval Muni, his heart melted. He said, "It's okay, don't worry. After some years, you will, in the form of a crocodile, will bite and pull the feet of a great devotee of the Lord, that is Gajendra. And at that time, you will be delivered by Lord Hari." And this is what happened. When Lord Hari came to protect Gajendra, at that time, when Lord Hari killed this crocodile again got delivered and became the beautiful Gandharva as he was before. So this is how he got delivered by the curse of whom? Deval Muni. Although he cursed, but with that curse, because Deval Muni is a devotee. So because he cursed, out of compassion later he gave a boon also, because of which he could have darshan of Lord Hari and got delivered directly by the hands of Lord Hari. So this is how the curse of Vaishnavas, the curse of devotees, they are actually boon disguised as a curse. When we say that Krishna is like Chintamani, Krishna is like touchstone. Touchstone means whatever comes in contact with the touchstone, whatever touches with this touchstone becomes gold, becomes very precious. So, in the same way, whoever comes in contact with Krishna in any way, they become delivered. Such great demons who were completely impure, so much demoniac mentality, so much bad deeds, sinful activities, but still, when they got killed by Krishna, when they got killed by Lord Hari, what happened to them? They got liberation, which is so difficult to attain for normal people, for very pious people also. It is very difficult to obtain. But because just by the contact of Lord Hari, by the contact of Lord Krishna, it is like touchstone. They got delivered. In the same way, the devotees of Krishna, they develop the qualities same as Krishna. So because Krishna is touchstone, so the devotees also, the pure devotees of Krishna, they are also like touchstones. Krishna is non-different from his holy name. His holy name also is touchstone. And the devotees who performed so much devotion day and night, meditating on Krishna, his name, beautiful form, pastimes. So slowly, all those qualities of Krishna, they start reflecting on the devotees also. Now, the pure devotees, they are also like touchstones. And when they curse someone, that curse also is always beneficial because they are like a touchstone. So whatever comes in contact with them, even in a negative sense, someone is throwing stone at them, someone is abusing them. So when out of anger also they curse someone, so that curse also is something which becomes a cause of meeting with Krishna, which becomes a cause of deliverance. It's a very important point that we have to understand. And that's why any kind of contact with pure devotees, any kind of little contact with pure devotees is so much beneficial for us, which destroys so many, like heaps of sins accumulated from our previous millions of birth. They get at once destroyed just by a little association of such level of pure devotees. And we just heard in our previous examples also that how Narad Muni, he cursed Nala Kuvera Manigriva, the two sons of Kuver. And when he cursed them, they got actually a great boon that they appeared in the form of a tree in the courtyard of Nand Maharaj. They having darshan of Krishna's childhood pastimes every day. Such a beautiful fortune. So, in the same way, this Gandharva, when cursed by Deval Muni, he was just doing his sense gratification. But just by some contact with this Deval Muni, he attained darshan of Lord Hari. He got delivered. And in the same way, when Lord Hari came to protect Gajendra also, so Lord Hari killed that crocodile, and that crocodile got delivered and again re-established in his form as a Gandharva. And what happened to the devotees? If this crocodile is getting such high destination, then what will happen to the devotees? Gajendra was a devotee. Gajendra, in his previous life and in this life also, he was praying to the Lord. He was not inimical. He was not hurting the devotees like the crocodile was doing. So, what was his destiny then? He attained Sarupya Mukti. There are 5 types of liberation. Always we have to remember these things. Our Guru Varga says that this is the tattva, this is the foundation. And when the foundation is strong, then we can build a beautiful palace over that foundation. So all these pastimes, we will be able to hold it properly. We will be able to get the perfect benefit out of it, the real essence of it, only when the foundation is strong. So try to understand there are different kind of liberations also. So five types of liberation has been mentioned: Sarupya, Samipya, Sarshti, Salokya, and fifth one is Sayujya. So what are these? Sarupya means when that devotee gets liberated, that gets the same form as Lord Narayan in Vaikuntha planet. Same form. It looks similar to Lord Narayan. That is Sarupya. Roop means form. Then Salokya means sharing the same abode. Abode means Vaikuntha. So they will get their own a Vaikuntha planet where it will be all similar as Lord Narayan's abode. So that is Salokya. They will reside in the same planet as Lord Narayan. That is Salokya. Then Samipya means they will reside very near. Samipya. They will reside very near to the Lord. And then Sarshti. They will have equal opulence as Lord Narayan. They will get liberated and attain such a position in Vaikuntha in which they will have equal opulence as Lord Narayan. Then the fifth one, that is Sayujya, and this is not for devotees. This particular liberation, devotees don't want at all. They really hate it and actually stay very far from it. Sayujya means actually one kind of spiritual suicide in which a person tries to merge into the Lord, actually destroying one's own existence. See, we all are part and parcel of Lord. So we have similarity plus some difference from the Lord also. This is Achintya Bheda Bhed, the philosophy of Mahaprabhu, in which the soul is at one point same and also different. It's identical and also different. Let's understand with a small example. It's a very important point, and this foundational concept should be clear in Bhakti line. Otherwise, anyone would come and they will just speak anything, and we will get convinced, and we will not be able to really understand and differentiate between authentic and inauthentic subject matters. So this is very important to understand this Achintya Bheda Bhed, because this is our identity. We are in the line of Mahaprabhu, and what is Mahaprabhu given? What Mahaprabhu has given in the form of philosophical conclusions? He has said that we are different and non-different simultaneously from the Supreme Lord. How? Example has been given by our Guru Vargas. There is a big ocean, and in that ocean, I just pick a little one drop of that ocean. So if I just take that one drop of that big, huge, vast ocean and I compare these two, so if I just see the composition, then I will find that the quality of this drop of water is same as the ocean. It is also salty, that is also salty. It also has the molecules similar as the ocean. So many similarities are there. But still, even after these kind of similarities, can I really say that this drop is equivalent to the ocean? I cannot say that. Although there is some similarity, but still, this drop is so small, and the ocean is so huge, so vast. In the same way, although jivas, because they are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, so they have some identical nature. There are some similarities between the Lord and the jiva, but that does not mean that this jiva can ever become the Lord. The jiva, the soul can never become the supreme personality. The soul can never become super soul. So this is very important. Although this soul has many qualities similar to Bhagwan, but it can never become super soul. It can never become Bhagwan. Why? Because Bhagwan is infinite and this soul is infinitesimal. It's very small, very tiny in compare to the Lord. So this is very important to understand. And those who are impersonalists, who are Mayavadis, for whom our Guru Vargas always say that never ever hear Harikatha of such kind of Mayavadis, because it's kind of a spiritual suicide for us. It's a great danger. Should never even see the face of a Mayavadi. Why? Because they are inimical to the Lord. Their philosophy is that the soul can become the Lord. They want to become the master. They want to get merged with the Lord. And that's very dangerous. And that is called Sayujya Mukti. That is Sayujya liberation, the fifth kind of liberation, which is always and always considered the most abominable by the Vaishnavas, by all the devotees. So these five kind of liberation, and Gajendra, what liberation he got? I just told, he got Sarupya Mukti. He got the similar form as Lord Narayan in Vaikuntha. And then our discussion started with what was the previous life of Gajendra that he had to undergo such kind of painful situation. What was the previous life of Gajendra that he could still remember all those beautiful prayers, because of which those prayers which attracted the mind of Lord Hari, which attracted the heart of Lord Hari, that he at once came to protect him. So for this, our Guru Vargas, they refer Srimad Bhagavatam and tell that how this Gajendra was a great king in his previous life, a great king of South India. His name was King Indradyumna. So this King Indradyumna, he was very opulent, huge kingdom, and all the things, all the favorable things were there in terms of material benefits and everything. But to perform devotion of the Lord, he left his kingdom. He left his whole kingdom, which is so difficult to leave. For us, it is so difficult to leave even our small, small material attachments. And here, King Indradyumna, he at once gave up, renounced all that huge kingdom, all those huge responsibilities at once. He went into the forest. He was living in a small ashram. And in that ashram, he was worshipping his Thakurji. So every day, without fail, he was very much with nishtha, with proper determination, and beautifully he used to perform his bhajan in the forest, in his ashram. Now, one day, he was immersed in performing Thakurji Seva, in his deity worship. While he was worshipping the Lord, what happened? Agastya Muni, a great sage, Agastya Muni, he came in his ashram with few of his disciples. Now, Indradyumna Maharaj, he was worshipping his Thakurji, and since he was thinking that, oh, I am worshipping the Lord, I am worshipping the Supreme Lord, I am worshipping Lord Hari. So, in that, there should not be any kind of distraction. So, if anyone is coming also, I would still continue worshipping Lord Hari, because Lord Hari is the topmost. So, if I attend anyone else in front of Lord Hari and ignore his services, then it will be an offense. So, thinking like this, a personality who is equivalent to his guru, that is Agastya Muni, he came, but he did not even stood up. He did not stand up. And seeing this, out of compassion, Agastya Muni, he at once got so much angry on Indradyumna Maharaj, that what kind of person you are. Such a senior person like me is coming in your ashram and you are ignoring. You are not even standing and greeting us. So you are simply sitting. Your mind, your brain is dumb. It's so because of this, I curse you at once. Agastya Muni, he at once cursed this Indradyumna Maharaj, saying that because you are just sitting like an elephant, even upon my arrival, you go and become an elephant only. And hearing this, Indradyumna Maharaj, he understood his fault also. And then Seeing this, again Agastya Muni, because again there is devotee nature. So pure devotees, they at once become compassionate. Out of compassion, again, Agastya Muni, he said that you will be delivered. You will be delivered by Lord Hari in this body itself of Gajendra, in this body of elephant, in this cursed body of an elephant. So, will this body of an elephant be really considered as a cursed body? Again, think about it. People are not getting deliverance even in the human body, and Gajendra is getting delivered in the elephant body. So, is that elephant body better or human body is better? In this sense, if we observe, elephant body is better, but that elephant body is not the one attained by his own karmic reactions. That elephant body which is attained as a prasad of a pure devotee. This is a very strong point we have to understand. There is a difference between getting into a species, getting into a lower species as a result of our own karma. And there is a huge difference when a person gets such lower species, the body of such lower species, as a prasad by a pure devotee. So, such great personality, Agastya Muni, when he cursed this Indradyumna Maharaj, so that curse was not actually a curse, it was a great boon. Guru Vargas explained that Indradyumna Maharaj still had to undergo many births, even though in a human form only, he had to undergo many births to attain his spiritual perfection. For example, suppose Indradyumna Maharaj, he was still little away from his perfection, and he still had to undergo 100 more births and perform devotion in those 100 more births to attain his spiritual form, to attain the perfection. But now, by the curse, by the compassion, by the contact, by the association of such a devotee like Agastya Muni, such a high class sage, what happened? He just had to undergo one more birth, and that as Gajendra. So there are so many teachings, so much important lessons from just this little particular instance where Agastya Muni cursed Gajendra, sorry, Indradyumna Maharaj. Our Guru Vargas, they explain another point here, that why Agastya Muni got angry. What teaching is present is hidden in this particular pastime. He is saying, the Guru Vargas are saying that Indradyumna Maharaj, he is a great devotee of the Lord, but he actually did a fault. My Guru Maharaj, Sripad Bhaktivedanta Siddhanti Goswami Maharaj, he explains this point very strongly, that there is one fault which is called as Niyamagraha. Srila Rupa Goswami also in Upadeshamrit, he is explaining Atyahara Prayashascha Prajalpo Niyamagraha Janasangascha Lolyamcha Shadbir Bhaktir Vinashyati. There are these 6 faults which, when done, they actually destroy our bhakti. What are those 6 faults? Atyahar Prayashascha Prajalpo Niyamagraha. So this fourth point is Niyamagraha. If we talk about all those 6 faults, it will take a separate different class. So with the lack of time, we will just consider this Niyamagraha. I'll just briefly tell all the 6 faults. First is Atyahar. Atyahar means collecting more than necessary. So whenever we collect more than necessary, we actually damage our bhakti. Because when we collect more than necessary, then we have to maintain it also. Suppose a person is earning, and he earned and built a huge empire, so many companies, factories, startups, whatnot. Now, someone has to look after it also, created this huge empire. So, collecting more than necessary means now you have to maintain, you have to give your time. So, time means you have to take time from bhakti and give time into this maintenance of such extra things. So atyahar, prayasascha means endeavoring in activities which are averts to devotional service, which are not devotional service, but some material activities, endeavoring for them. Atyahar prayasascha. Prajalpa. Prajalpa means talking nonsense, chit chat, talking always about third person, criticizing, judging people, not actually talking about Krishna, his name, his form, his beautiful pastimes, glorifying devotees, not doing those things, but talking all the rubbish. That is called prajalpa. The fourth one that we are talking here is Niyamagraha, the fault which was done by whom? Indradyumna Maharaj. So that Niyamagraha means it has two meanings. One meaning is not actually paying much attention on the rules and regulations that are given by our Guru Vargas, not paying much attention or not actually being serious on those rules. Like Guru Vargas, they again and again tell you have to wake up early, attend Mangalarti. Such a simple rule. But we become lazy. We feel that, oh, it's okay, I'll complete my rounds, I'll do all other basic things. So I'm not being serious in following those rules and regulations. Guru Vargas explained that you should do this, you should not do this. Never criticize. Our Shila Gurudev, Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj used to put so much focus on this. Don't criticize because this criticism will destroy your bhakti. Don't criticize even a meat eater. What to speak of criticizing devotees? So don't criticize. But what happened to us? We forget that. We don't follow those rules. We don't become serious in following those rules given by our Guru Vargas. And we just stay very much lenient. So, not really paying attention and just relaxing on these rules and regulations is Niyamagraha. There is another very deeper meaning of Niyamagraha, that is over following without thinking from the brain, over following. That means a very beautiful example that my Guru Maharaj Ji gives is it is told by scriptures also and by our acharyas also that one should worship Tulsi Devi. One should water on Tulsi plant. Now, a person, he just heard this rule and then very enthusiastically, every day he is without fail following this rule and pouring water on Tulsi plant every day. Now, one day, very heavy rainfall happened, very heavy rainfall, and the whole Tulsi plant is already filled with water. But this person, because, oh, Guruji has said this, Acharyas has said this, scriptures has said this. I must water Tulsi today also. So he's going, he's not breaking his rule, he's taking a whole big bowl and again watering on this Tulsi, which is already filled with water because such a heavy rainfall came. So what is this? Is this a proper thing to do? No. Now, this is the subtle point that we have to understand. So this is the second understanding of this word niyamagraha, that is over following the rules, not really doing serving with a proper understanding, with a proper feeling, considering Lord as our very own, considering Tulsi, the health of Tulsi also, that if I pour more water, then my Tulsi will die. I should not do this. There's so many examples like this of niyamagraha. There are so many temples like Jagannath Puri. In Jagannath Puri, they don't follow Raga Marg. They follow Vedi Marg, means full rules and regulation. Whatever happens, the rules will not break. A beautiful example is Odan Shashti. Odan Shashti is a particular day where Lord is given woolen clothes because around that period, winter start coming. So someday before that Odan Shashti, if rainfall happened and it became very cold, breezy, still Jagannath ji, if he is shivering in his summer clothes, let him shiver. But we will not provide winter clothes. Such strong rules. Not really considering, even if the weather is cold, because Odan Shashti, that date has not come when we start giving woolen clothes to the Lord. So we will not give. No. So this is called Niyamagraha. So Indradyumna Maharaj, he also made this fault of Niyamagraha. How? It is actually a rule that when we worship the Lord, we should not ignore the Lord and start attending anyone else. We should never attend anyone else while we are serving the Lord, because Lord is supreme. For example, suppose in our house, the Prime Minister of the country comes and he is sitting in our living room, in our drawing room. Instead of attending him, I am just attending my maid. I am attending some other person in the house. So how it will be? It will be very offensive to the Prime Minister. So we don't do that. We attend the Prime Minister, such an important person, he has come to our house. So what to speak of the Lord then? Lord, he is the Lord of the whole universe, all the universes. That Prime Minister is just the head of the country. So such great personality I am attending right now. How can I attend anyone else? So it's a rule that we should not attend anyone else while serving the Lord. We should not stand up and greet and pay obeisances to anyone in front of the Lord. When Thakurji's darshan are opened, we cannot pay obeisances to any person. But there is a point here. Cannot pay obeisances to anyone except Guru. Except Gurudev, you cannot do this. But when Gurudev comes, then even in front of Lord, we have to stand up. We have to attend him. We have to greet him, welcome him, and pay obeisances even in front of the Lord. There is no fault in that. So this is what Indradyumna Maharaj, he did Niyamagraha. He overfollowed the rule. Because of which, when Gurujan came, when Agastya Muni came, he did not pay heed. He saw him coming, but he ignored. And because of which, he had to undergo that curse. So this is a very important teaching that we have to take from this pastime. That Niyamagraha, how much to follow, what to follow, and this can only come when we take the shelter of the footsteps of our Guru Vargas. These things, if a person is reading so many scriptures, he will not understand these little subtle points. No one will be able to understand these subtle points. There is so much subtle difference between Niyamagraha, and that's what is called as knowledge between the lines. In between two lines, there is anything? When we are reading a text, line 1, line 2, we just read it. Is there anything between line 1 and line 2? There is nothing. But there is so much information between these two lines also. That is called as the knowledge between the lines. And this knowledge one can only get only and only from proper Guru Parampara. When we take shelter, when we serve, when we learn under the guidance of a proper pure Guru, then we can understand this knowledge between the lines. Otherwise, Indradyumna Maharaj, he was much more knowledgeable than us. He was much more devotional than us. He was much a high class elevated devotee than us. But how come we are able to get this point which Indradyumna Maharaj also missed? Are we very intelligent? No, we don't have any special feature. Only one fortune we have got, that we have come into this beautiful line of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And they only are teaching us these beautiful points, this beautiful understanding, the subtle understanding, which is so rare to find. It's not directly written even in the scriptures. You can't really read and understand these things. So Niyamagraha, this is the fourth thing which destroys bhakti. The fifth is Janasangascha Lolyamcha, which Srila Rupa Goswami is mentioning. Janasangas means associating with non-devotees, associating with those who are detrimental for our bhakti. Bad association. And then Lolyamcha, having greed for material objects. Having greed, having so much longing for material accomplishments. So all these are the 6 points that destroys our bhakti. And Srila Rupa Goswami is again and again warning us that beware of such things. Beware of collecting more than necessary. Atyahar, prayasascha. Beware of endeavoring in the wrong direction. There is only one object on which we have to endeavor, and that is what it is? Krishna. No, we are not actually told to endeavor to Krishna. So what it is then? Not Krishna, then what? We are all talking, we are worshipping Krishna, applying tilak, this and that. Whole philosophy is for Krishna. So if we don't have to endeavor in the direction of Krishna, then where we have to endeavor? To Krishna Prem. Our object is not just Krishna. Our object is Krishna Prem. And Srila Gurudev again and again he used to stress so much on this, that don't run after Krishna just. Run after Krishna Prem. Because darshan of Krishna was available to Kans also. All this Duryodhan also, he also saw Krishna. But there was no prem. There was no prem. So what can give us prem? Darshan of Krishna can give prem. It has just got proven that it cannot give. Duryodhan had darshan. Duryodhan saw Krishna. Kans saw Krishna. So many demons saw Krishna. They didn't get prem. Then what is that thing which provides prem if not Krishna? Krishna Nam. The holy names of Krishna, that's why it is said, the holy names of Krishna are more compassionate than Krishna also. Because it can provide that thing which Krishna himself through his darshan cannot provide. This holy name, this Maha Mantra given, this can develop the prem, that love for Krishna. So that loving Krishna is the main object of our life. And that's what our Guru Vargas, they again and again tell. So, not endeavoring into the material accomplishments, but endeavoring for this Krishna Prem. So, Atyahar Prayasas, Prajalpo, not talking any nonsense, but only discussing, doing, speaking the glories of Krishna, doing Hari Katha, listening to Hari Katha. Atyahar Prayasascha Prajalpo Niyamagraha, just we heard. Not first being lenient in following the rules and regulations, and then on the other extreme, over following the rules and regulations. So we have to know those subtle understanding which can only come through the shelter of Guru Vargas, through the shelter of proper Vaishnavas. Then Jana Sangascha Lolyamcha, not having bad association but endeavoring for association of senior devotees, Shreshta Sang, high class devotees. Jana Sangascha Lolyamcha, and having greed not for material things, but greed for what? For proper sadhu sang. Because through sadhu sang only we get that Krishna prem. It is said, Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati kriyatam yadi kutopi labhyate. Tatra lolyam api mulyam ekalam janma koti sukriterna labhyate. Millions and millions of birth, sukriti, the sukriti of millions and millions of birth, the spiritual merits of millions of births together cannot buy a single percentage of this wealth. What wealth? Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati. This wealth of Krishna consciousness, this wealth of love for Krishna, this wealth of Radha Dasyam, this kind of wealth can never be brought even by the Sukriti, the spiritual merits of millions and millions of births. There is only one thing. There is only one thing which can buy this. And for that itself it is said, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati Kriyatam Yadi Kutopi Labhyate Tatra Lolyam Api Mulyam Ekalam Janma Koti Sukriternala. That wherever you are finding this kind of love for Krishna, then there is only one cost of it, and that is greed. So how come Shil Rupa Goswami here is saying that you should not have greed, and this shloka is saying that you should have greed because of that greed only you can buy that love, you can buy that spiritual great wealth. Even the sukritis, the spiritual merits will not be of use. So how come? So there is a difference between material greed and spiritual greed. Having greed for material objects, for wealth, fame, all these greeds are different. And here, the thing that has been talked about, this greed, is the greed of the lolyam, the longing to get this wealth. If a person does not have the longing to attain Krishna Prem, then how he will endeavor for it also? The greed makes us endeavor. So that's why Srila Gurudev again and again he used to say this, that once your goal is clear, then what will happen? You will hear about that and then develop greed. When we hear these beautiful pastimes of Krishna in Golok Vrindavan, Krishna's dealings with Yashoda Maya, Krishna's dealings with Nand Baba, with his sakhas, with the gopis, with Radharani, then just by hearing that, a sense of greed comes in the heart, that we want to also relish, we also want to serve there, we also want to be a part of it. So that greed is actually the main cost, the main currency. That currency only works. Suppose you take this Indian rupees and go in America and you just buy something and give your Indian rupees there. What will happen? They will say, just take back your Indian rupees. It doesn't work here. You have to bring dollars. So that currency will not work there. So that's what Guru Vargas are saying, that to attain that Krishna Prem, what is the currency? The currency is greed. That greed is the currency, not actually the Sukriti. If I have millions, if I have millions and millions of Indian rupees, still I'll not be able to buy anything in America, even a small thing of $1. They will not accept. I have to convert it first. So in the same way, even if I have millions of Sukriti, I will not be able to buy Krishna Prem. But if I have some greed, through that greed, I will get proper sadhu sang. And through that proper sadhu sang, I'll get the whole channel through which I can get that Krishna Prem. So greed is the most important. So this is what we are here to understand from these kind of pastimes, that how the fault that was done by Indradyumna Maharaj, it is a fault which we are doing in our everyday life. So we have to understand and try to improve ourselves and follow the words of Srila Rupa Goswami, that brother and sister, don't do these kind of things. Otherwise, what will happen? Your bhakti will be destroyed. So all these six symptoms, which six activities that we are involved in, which destroys our bhakti, if we don't stay conscious, then we will start losing our bhakti. We will not progress. And then what will happen after years and years of devotion? We will go and we will talk to our Gurudev and ask that nothing is happening. So many devotees, they used to come to Srila Gurudev and ask, we are chanting for so long, but nothing is happening. So what's the point? Why it is not happening? Because we are not rejecting the unfavorable part. A very beautiful example with this will conclude. This example that Guruji tells this example, that suppose I have a big tank. I want to fill that tank with water and I am filling it from the top. But that tank is not getting filled. Why? Because the tap at the bottom, there is a tap at the bottom which is on, and the water is draining out of that tap. So to fill the whole tank properly, I just don't have to keep pouring in the water from the top. Obviously, I have to do that, but with that, in parallel, I have to close the tap in the bottom also. Otherwise, what will happen? I'm adding from top and it's getting drained out from the bottom. So that's why it is very important, and Srila Rupa Goswami is putting so much stress on this. Atyahar prayasascha. He's telling all these 6 things which are unfavorable for bhakti, and we should try to give them up. And when we don't, then such is the result. How Sri Indradyumna Maharaj, he got a good lesson only, but for us, we have to observe this, that he got cursed for doing this Niyamagraha by Agastya Muni. So we have to understand this very strongly, that how Indradyumna Maharaj, although such a high class devotee, but he is through his own pastimes. This is actually a teaching for us only. The Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole Srimad Bhagavatam, all the pastimes are actually great, great teachings for us. We should understand that Indradyumna Maharaj is very worshipable for us, and whatever happened is only for our teachings, so that we get very much beware and cautious. So this was the whole pastime of Gajendra Maharaj, Gajendra the elephant, and how he followed Jaiva Dharma even in the form of an elephant. So in the next class now, we will continue with this. We have taken enough examples for now to understand this particular point, that how Jaiva Dharma has been accepted by species other than humans also. And then why actually the devotees, they are not at all fearful of going into such lower species also. This is a very big question. A person like us, right now, our devotion is not so much matured or ripened that we are ready to undergo all those pains, or even go to the lower species like animals, just for the service of the Lord. Right now, our condition is, I am suffering so much in this world, and I have to get out of this. What is the process? Okay, Krishna consciousness is the process. I will follow it. So, this is our motivation at the moment. If someone says that you follow Krishna consciousness and then you become a dog in your next life, we will do that. No. What we want to become? We want to get out of this material world. But the devotees of the Lord sometimes pray in such a way that confuses us. How? That we will understand in the next class. That how the devotees are not afraid of getting into these lower species. The real devotees, pure devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, like Brahmaji, like Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, they are not really afraid of getting into lower species. They are afraid of something very high. So, what is that which these kind of pure devotees are afraid of, and why they are not afraid of getting into the lower species? That is a very big question, and we will try to understand this in our next class. So, with this, we conclude today's class. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.